Libra, my dear soul. Today, December 18th, the curse is broken. And your abundance? It finally flows freely. If you've been waiting for a divine shift, a sign that all the giving, healing, sacrificing, and showing up when no one was watching actually meant something, this is your moment. You're not here by chance. You've been guided to this exact space, on this exact day, because the universe has heard you. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, a sacred space where energy speaks, where cosmic alignment is honored, and where your journey is not just read. It's deeply understood. Today, something extraordinary unfolds for you. Venus, your ruling planet, is forming a rare and harmonious trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, miracles, and divine reward. This isn't just an astrological alignment. It's a cosmic green light. A loud yes. A long-awaited opening of the financial gates that have been sealed shut far too long. And if you've been sensing something lately, lights flickering at strange hours, a song playing at just the right moment, or even an odd object moving without explanation, those aren't coincidences. They're spiritual signals. Your guides, ancestors, and higher self have been preparing the field, lining things up behind the scenes. Because the old energy of lack, of giving too much and receiving too little, ends here. The cards that revealed themselves today echo that truth. The wheel of fortune turns in your favor. The Six of Pentacles whispers, what you gave will be returned. The Ace of Pentacles confirms, something new and financially divine is about to enter your reality. But this isn't just about money. A soul, someone who sees the light you've forgotten you even carry, is quietly being drawn to you. Not to take from you, but to pour back into you. A connection that heals, restores, and walks beside you, not ahead or behind. You, Libra, are not only receiving these blessings. You are breaking the generational patterns that blocked them. You are the one rewriting your family line's relationship with worth, with wealth, with love. You are the new root of the ancestral tree. The one who chooses abundance not as greed, but as divine balance. And I want to pause for a moment and sincerely thank you. Thank you for being here. For every like, every comment, every time you subscribe or share this message, you are not just supporting this channel. You are anchoring this energy into your own life. And you are becoming part of a soul-aligned collective that is rising together. So, before we go deeper, tell me this. What brought you here today, Libra? What called your soul to press play on this video at this exact time? Write it in the comments. And if you feel it, type the words, I am ready to receive my divine harvest. Let it be more than a comment. Let it be your declaration to the universe. Because trust me, what you're about to hear, you won't want to miss a single second. It's not always easy to trust in what we can't see. But Libra, this moment, this season's asking you to soften your doubts and gently lean into a truth that has been waiting to find you. Something is shifting in your favor. And not just symbolically. The energies that surround you now are rooted in both cosmic alignment and practical opportunity, and you've stepped into a time where financial flow is not only possible, it's destined. Venus, your ruling planet, the one that governs love, value, worthiness, and beauty, is forming a harmonious trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, generosity, and divine reward. This is not a common aspect. It's rare, expansive, and deeply fertile. When Venus and Jupiter speak to each other in this way, doors that were previously locked begin to creak open. But what's even more important is why this moment is uniquely tied to you. Because Venus is your planetary guide. She is your cosmic mirror. So when she dances with Jupiter in this way, you, Libra, are the one being illuminated. Your name is the one being whispered across the stars. This energy is being echoed clearly in the cards as well. The Wheel of Fortune reminds us that life is a cycle, and when you've been in the storm long enough, the turn of the wheel is inevitable. It's your turn to rise. The Six of Pentacles brings the promise of balance. What you've poured out will return. What you've given with love, without recognition, will be noticed and returned with generosity. And then comes the Ace of Pentacles, like a golden seed placed in the palm of your hand. This is a new offer. A chance. A beginning. Whether it's a financial opportunity, a shift in how you value yourself, or someone seeing your worth in a way no one has before, this is no longer abstract. It's real. It's here. If you've been noticing little signs lately, flickering lights, objects slightly out of place, a feeling that someone or something is watching over you, trust that these are signals. In moments when your logical mind says, it's nothing, your intuitive heart already knows better. You don't need proof to believe. What you need is permission to listen. And Libra, you have it. Sometimes the breakthrough doesn't come all at once, like a lottery win. Sometimes it begins softly, like a small voice nudging you to check your bank account again, to follow up on that email, to say yes to the job that feels just a little too big for you. But that's the magic, because you were made for bigger things. So here's a gentle but powerful practice you can try tonight or first thing in the morning. Take a quiet moment and write down 3 things you're grateful for, not because you already have everything you desire, but because gratitude expands the space where blessings land. Then, repeat softly to yourself, I am open to receiving financial blessings with peace, joy, and integrity. Let it feel easy. Let it be calm. You don't need to force energy to move. You only need to remove what's been blocking it. And most often, that's been the belief that you're not ready, not worthy, or not capable. But what if you are? You see, faith is not just about the heavens. Sometimes, it's about believing that what's already happening here on earth is enough to begin with. You don't have to chase a miracle. You are the ground where it can grow. So if it feels right to you, share with me in the comments below. What are the 3 financial blessings you're ready to receive? And write the words, my hands are open. My heart is ready. Sometimes, just the act of writing them makes room for the very thing you seek. Let's keep going. There's more for you ahead. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with a loud breakthrough or a bright awakening. Sometimes, it begins quietly in the soft realization that you've been pouring from an empty cup for far too long. Libra, you've always been the one who balanced the scales for others, often at the expense of your own equilibrium. You've been the peacekeeper, the giver, the unshakable pillar in rooms filled with chaos. But what happens when the one who gives everything receives nothing in return? For years, maybe even generations, the pattern has repeated itself. Give more than you have. Silence your own needs. Light the way for others while your own flame flickers in the dark. It's not weakness. It's a legacy of strength that was never properly acknowledged. A lineage of silent warriors who taught you that your value came from sacrifice. But today this exact moment you're being asked to do something radically different, to receive. This is not just about money or physical wealth. This is about energetic imbalance that's been carried through your bloodline. The belief that love must be earned through hardship. That worthiness must be proven through pain. That generosity without limits is somehow noble, even when it leaves you empty. These beliefs are not your truth. They were passed down like invisible contracts signed in the wounds of those who came before you. But contracts can be rewritten. Patterns can be broken. And you, Libra, are the one chosen to do that. December 18th isn't just a date, it's a doorway. Astrologically, the Venus-Jupiter trine is unlocking a rare moment of karmic justice. It's as if the universe is whispering, "You've given enough. Now let me return the favor." The Wheel of Fortune confirms the shift. The Six of Pentacles shows that balance is being restored. The Ace of Pentacles lays a golden opportunity at your feet. But the invitation remains. Can you allow yourself to believe that giving and receiving can coexist in harmony? The truth is, giving without receiving is unsustainable. Even the most selfless well will run dry if it's never replenished. And that's not what you're here to do anymore. You're not just a giver. You're a vessel. A channel for divine flow. And when you receive with grace, you don't take from anyone else, you activate the abundance that was always meant for you. There's a story I often return to of a woman who prayed for years for a breakthrough. Her circumstances were impossible. Every door had closed. Every resource had dried up. But she continued to show up for others with love and faith. One morning, when she had nothing left to give, she simply whispered, "God, I surrender." That day, a stranger knocked on her door with a gift that changed her life. It wasn't just charity, it was the universe responding to years of unrecognized devotion. Her harvest had been delayed, not denied. This is your moment like that. Your surrender does not mean giving up. It means letting go of the story that said you had to earn love, fight for support, or prove your worth through struggle. It means trusting that blessings can arrive simply because you exist and because your presence is enough. So take a breath. Feel your body. Acknowledge all the places where you've been carrying more than your share. Then, if you feel called, share this in the comments below. I release the curse of lack. I welcome a new era. Let that be your declaration. Let it be the start of a different story, one where you are no longer the candle that burns itself out, but the flame that lights others while staying full, radiant, and whole. Have you ever felt a sudden pull towards someone, a connection you couldn't explain, like their presence entered your life not by coincidence, but by timing so precise it almost felt orchestrated? Libra, this isn't just romantic music, it's a sign that love and prosperity may be arriving in tandem, gently woven into your life's next chapter. Just as the cosmos opens financial doors for you, it also calls in a connection meant to nourish you in ways money never could. Right now, your energy is glowing brighter than you realize. And someone is seeing that glow, someone whose soul may already recognize yours. While you've been focused on survival, on keeping your balance, perhaps even on rebuilding your self-worth, a person is drawing closer. This person doesn't come to take or distract. They arrive as part of the blessing. A mirror to reflect your light back to you. A reminder that you're not meant to walk alone in your purpose. And just as financial breakthroughs begin to flow into your life, so too does the possibility of a relationship rooted not in past patterns, but in genuine presence. This form of love isn't loud or demanding. It doesn't arrive to consume you or to test you. It arrives to steady you, to remind you of your softness and strength. It holds you with curiosity and compassion, not pressure or confusion. This person, whether you've met them already or they're still approaching, feels drawn to your quiet wisdom, your grace under pressure, your ability to hold space for others. And finally, they want to hold space for you. Financial blessings and loving relationships may seem like separate areas of life, but they are deeply intertwined when seen through the lens of energy. When your heart is open to being supported emotionally, it naturally begins to attract material support as well. And vice versa, when your material life begins to stabilize, your nervous system softens, allowing you to receive intimacy and connection without fear. This is why we say the love that's coming isn't a detour, it's a divine companion to your financial rebirth. It supports your capacity to receive. It grounds your capacity to trust. You might want to try something simple yet transformative. Take a few quiet moments to write a letter to someone you haven't met yet, your future partner, your mirror soul, your spiritual teammate. Write as if they are already on their way, as if they're listening. Thank them for arriving in divine timing. Tell them what kind of love you're ready to co-create. Doing this isn't about fantasy, it's about making space in your heart. It's about showing the universe that you're not just hopingiary preparing. And as you reflect, remember this gentle truth: the blessings coming your way are not random. They are layered, intentional, sacred. One doesn't cancel out the other. You don't have to choose between purpose and partnership, between money and meaning. You're being given a rare chance to experience both. There's a quiet kind of comfort that comes when we realize we're not building our lives alone anymore. In faith, we plant seeds. In patience, we water them. And sometimes, in the middle of an ordinary day, they bloom all at once. Just like that woman I once knew who said a simple prayer in her kitchen while folding laundry, asking not for riches or attention but just for a companion's soul who would understand her language. A week later, a letter from someone she hadn't heard from in years arrived in her mailbox. Not a perfect person, but the right one. That is the nature of divine timing. So, Libra, ask yourself quietly, if love is already on its way, would you be ready to receive it? And what if that love, far from distracting you, is part of the structure meant to hold the blessings now falling into your life? Take a breath, soften your shoulders, and if your heart feels ready, whisper this truth: I am open to love that restores and to abundance that flows freely. You don't need to earn it. You only need to believe you're ready. Because truly, you are. There's a quiet kind of strength that lives in those who choose to break cycles they didn't create. Libra, you may not always see yourself this way, but what you are doing right now, simply by choosing differently, by thinking differently, by believing that you are worthy of more, is not just a personal decision. It's an act of spiritual rebellion. A sacred rebellion against generations of limitation, scarcity, and silent suffering. You were not handed a perfect blueprint. Perhaps you were born into a family line where love came with conditions, where money was always just out of reach, where silence was safer than truth, and where sacrifice was mistaken for virtue. And still, you have reached a point where you are asking the question, what if I don't have to carry this anymore? This is not selfish. This is sacred. When you choose abundance without shame, rest without guilt, joy without explanation. You are not just healing yourself. You are reprogramming an entire root system. You are becoming the tree that grows from ground others thought barren. It's not an easy task. Many people live their entire lives recycling the stories they were given, that struggle is honorable, that lack is normal, that survival is all there is. But in astrology, Libra is the sign of balance, yes, but also of justice. True balance isn't about giving and giving until you break. It's about creating harmony where there was once heaviness. And the universe is honoring your effort. This is where the Empress comes in. In tarot, she is the mother of all creation. She doesn't hustle or beg for her worth. She receives with grace because she knows her value is not tied to what she produces, it's rooted in who she is. You, too, are being invited into that Empress energy. Not as a metaphor, but as a living, breathing shift in how you carry yourself, how you think about money, and how you speak about your future. You are allowed to rewrite the story. You are allowed to be the one who says, "It ends with me." The emotional scarcity. The belief that love must be earned through pain. The inner voice that tells you to settle. All of it told echoes from ancestors who didn't have the tools or permission to choose another way. When we do this kind of work, it helps to anchor ourselves in a deeper knowing. I often remember the stories of people who didn't know how they would make it, who found themselves exhausted, invisible, and uncertain. But at their lowest, they chose to plant one seed: faith. Not blind faith, but the kind that says, maybe, just maybe, my life can look different. That's all it takes sometimes. One seed of belief. And over time, it becomes a harvest for generations. If this speaks to you, try this affirmation aloud or write it down somewhere you'll see it often. I am the one who creates sacred abundance for my bloodline. Say it slowly. Let the words land in your body. Feel them interrupt the old programming and make space for something new to grow. You are not broken. You are blooming despite it all. And the most beautiful part? What you are healing today will echo into the lives of those you'll never meet. You are not just freeing yourself. You are setting the path for those who come after you to walk in light instead of fear, in abundance instead of shame, in love that feels safe, not earned. And that, dear Libra, is a legacy far greater than gold. Some blessings only activate when we say yes to them, not just with our words, but with our actions, our choices, our energy. Libra, you've already done the internal work. You've said yes in your heart. You've made space in your spirit. But now, the universe is waiting to see how you move with this new energy, how you embody the frequency of abundance in your daily life. Because prosperity isn't just something we hope for, it's something we prepare for, welcome in, and partner with. Today is a powerful day to do exactly that. December 18th is more than a date on the calendar, it's a vibrational window. When Venus aligns in harmony with Jupiter and the wheel of fortune turns in your favor, you are not only encouraged to receive, but to engage. That means grounding your intentions through meaningful, physical actions. Not hustle. Not force. Just alignment. Intuitive, graceful alignment. Start by revisiting your relationship with money. Take 15 minutes to sit with your finances, not in fear, not in guilt, but in love. Look at your numbers with compassion, not judgment. What do they reflect? Where are the places asking for healing, clarity, or boundaries? Rewrite your money plan, even if it's simple. Call it your abundance blueprint. Include one small action you'll take this week to shift the flow, whether it's saving a specific amount, canceling a draining subscription, or creating a new stream of income from a skill you've been keeping quiet. Next, lean into frequency. Color and food are not just aesthetic or physical, they carry vibration. Today, if possible, wear something golden or deep emerald green. Gold carries the energy of divine royalty and receptivity. Green, the frequency of prosperity and steady growth. Both remind your subconscious that you are in receiving mode. If you can, eat foods that echo this energy: pumpkin seeds for grounded wealth, avocados for nourishment and softness, dark chocolate for heart opening and trust. Before you spend even $1 today, take a breath and speak a quiet affirmation: I sow in love, and I receive in overflow. This simple sentence aligns your giving and your receiving, reminding you that every financial exchange is an energetic one. You are not losing money. You are investing it into a cycle of circulation, and what you circulate with gratitude, you multiply. Then, if you're feeling called, take 5 minutes alone. Stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes, not with critique, but with reverence. Say out loud, I am a steward of divine resources. I receive with a humble heart and unshakable trust. Let that statement settle in your body. Let your posture shift. Feel yourself being seen, even if only by yourself. Because when you show up for your abundance like this, it shows up for you. It's a law not of man, but of energy. Numerologically, today carries the sacred vibration of 6 and 8. The 6 asks you to restore balancito, give and receive with equal grace. The 8 reminds you that the flow of prosperity is infinite. It's not about taking from others, but opening to a source that never runs dry. If either number speaks to you, write it down, draw it on your hand, or set it as your phone background as a quiet, energetic anchor for the day. Finally, remember, sometimes, the most spiritual thing we can do is something very practical. Pay a bill with gratitude. Reorganize your wallet. Bless your bank account, even if it's not yet where you want it to be. God doesn't need you to be rich to love you, but He delights in your willingness to co-create with Him. Your discipline is a form of devotion. Your structure is sacred. And your abundance? It's already Harrier, just learning how to hold it. And if you're ready, let this be your declaration in the comments today. I move like abundance is already mine. Because it is. You've done the inner work. Now, Libra, let your outer world rise to meet it. Libra, if you've made it to this moment, I want you to pause. Just for a breath. Let everything we've shared today settle into your heart, not as a prediction, but as a remembering. You didn't come here by accident, and nothing that resonated with you today is random. This isn't just the day the money shows up, the love returns, or the universe finally says yes. This is the day you say yes to yourself. The day you stop waiting to feel worthy and begin to live as if you already are. Because you are. You've walked through years of contrast, giving without being seen, working without being fully rewarded, loving without knowing if it was safe. And still, here you are. Showing up again. Choosing hope over fear. Choosing growth over silence. Choosing to be open to a miracle, even when the past has taught you to brace for disappointment. That alone is evidence of your power. And that power, dear Libra, is what changes everything. Financial freedom doesn't begin in the bank, it begins in the body. In your beliefs. In your quiet decisions when no one's watching. When you say, no more living in survival mode. No more hiding my light. No more carrying guilt for wanting more. When you affirm that abundance is your birthright not because you earned it, but because you exist. You are not here to chase scraps of joy. You are here to sit at the table of divine provision. To walk as someone who doesn't just desire more but embodies more. And the more you believe that, the more life bends to meet you there. Let me ask you something. What would shift if you actually trusted that today, December 18th, was the beginning of everything new? What would you say yes to? What would you finally release? Who would you become, if you stopped waiting for the world to tell you you're ready, and simply chose to believe that you are? You don't need to be perfect to receive a blessing. You only need to be present. Present enough to say, I choose to see this moment as sacred. I choose to receive. I choose to no longer shrink when opportunity knocks. I choose to plant a new seed for myself, for my family, for the ones who come after me. So if your heart is beating faster, if your eyes feel a little softer, if your soul is whispering, this message was for me, then yes, it was. And yes, it is your time. Write this in the comments right now, not just as a sentence but as a prayer, as a promise, as an activation. I am ready to receive my divine harvest. I claim this blessing. And if this message found you in a moment where you needed confirmation, guidance, or a reminder of who you really are, then please like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and share it with someone else who may be quietly waiting for their own miracle. Because when we rise together. And your energy, your healing, your transformation, it's not just yours. It's part of something bigger, something beautiful, and something deeply needed in this world. Never forget this, Libra. When you believe you are worthy, every door opens. And when you lead with gratitude, you attract the entire kingdom. Your journey doesn't end here. In many ways, it's only just beginning.